بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم اقرأ باسم ربك الذي خلق.
That masjid. Because for sister, it is, it is not advisable to do i'tikaf in the masjid. You see, there's a new masjid here, and one brother out of experience made an announcement before Ramadan. Then inshallah there will be i'tikaf for brother and sister in the masjid. So some people are calling from the other sister to i'tikaf in the masjid. No way. They cannot. But they'll get the same reward if they do i'tikaf at their home, right? And they make a room or in a certain area as masjid. Okay? So if a sister is also in the state of wudu and she is waiting for the next salah to start or the time to come, so she will be in the she will be getting the same return. Ma'alam yuhdis, but the moment your wudu breaks, this sawab will stop. So you need to go and make fresh wudu and then come and sit down. Right? So this is why the intizar of salah, if you are waiting for salah, it is very, very rewarding. Some of the awliyaullah, they will wait, they will come early to the masjid. Remember when I was talking to you about certain tabi'een, we talked about Sa'id ibn Musayyib. If you remember, he said that for 40 continuous years, it happened that whenever the muazzin called azan for any salah, he found me in the masjid. And I said for 40 years. And for 50 years or something, he said that I made a routine of my life that on Juma, I will go for Fajr and I will come back only after Juma Salah. Sorry? Well, not everybody can do that. You're absolutely right. We have business and everything. But if he has time, yes, you can do that. Huh? Sometimes people, they have time, but they would rather prefer not to do that. Most of us, we come on Juma at the very last moment. But it should not be so. Iqbal Bhai had raised a good point that does he have that Sa'id al-Musayyib had family or not? Here, brothers and sisters, there is one very important principle to remember within one Hadith al-Qudsi, and this is something, brother, that if you experiment, you will find the barakat of it. And the Hadith al-Qudsi is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He created the earth, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala addressed the earth and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to the earth, right? That those people, right, who will work for me, meaning for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? Leave them alone. Leave them alone. And I will bless their time. Okay? But those people who run after you, keep them busy. Okay. So now, if you turn to Allah, no matter what your profession is, right? You'll see Allah will give you blessing, time. You'll have. But if you run after the world, and so Allah will keep you involved in that, and you will have no time whatsoever. So in the same 24 hours, you will get time of life. But if you don't do that, you will never have time. You will never. And this is Hadith al-Qudsi. So if you want to come on Juma early, and you sincerely try, Hadith al-Qudsi says Allah will make it easy for you to come. But if you say, no, I don't want to go, so Allah will never let you come. Just like a few minutes ago, I was talking to you about that ayah in the middle of that. Nasullaha fanasiyam. They forgot Allah, so they forgot Allah, so Allah forgot them. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not want to impose His will upon you. And this is something very important, especially nowadays we make an excuse that we are very busy. Yes, we are busy. But the thing is that if you try, Allah will make it possible. Like you are here 8:30 in the Sunday morning, why will you try to come? If you will not feel desire to learn Quran, Hadith, Allah will not let you come. Quickly, if I can quote one more hadith before I go on to the next hadith, is that in one hadith here, Qudsi also, hadith Qudsi, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that Man taqarraba ilayya shibra, a person who will come towards me the span of his hand, I mean few inches, I will go to him an arm's length. But Allah thinks first you try, then if you come to Allah walking, Allah says then I will come to you running. Meaning you will make little effort and I will make more effort coming to you. If you come walking to me, I will come running. Meaning, bhai, try to go. You should try. You have the desire, and then you'll see that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. See, Imam Abu Hanifa, rahimahullah, was a big businessman. You know that, brother? Imam Abu Hanifa was a big businessman. Right? But he says that for 40 years or 45 years, I don't remember, he said, I prayed the Salah of Fajr with the wudu of Isha. Imagine, meaning after Fajr, after Isha, he will not sleep. He will be engaged in the ibadah of Allah. And he said that for 40 or 45 years, he said, I prayed the Salah of Fajr with the wudu of Isha. Every night. Now, and he was a businessman. He ran his family through business. So if you if you make effort, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will put barakah. If you will think, so look, another hadith, another dua of Rasulullah sallam which we should often make is that Rasulullah said, Allahumma la taj'al ad-dunya akbara hammina wa la mablagha ilmina. And what was the last one? What? Allahumma la taj'al ad-dunya akbara hammina wa la ولا تسلط علينا من لا يخافك ولا يرحمنا. أو كما قال Rasulullah said, "O Allah, do not make this dunya the goal of my life. ولا مبلغ علمنا. Do not make this world the purpose for us seeking knowledge. I should not be seeking knowledge just for this dunya. Okay? The more knowledge you gain, it should be to know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala better. So if you consider dunya as dunya all the time, so you will not get time. ये दुनिया हो या वो दुनिया, ख्वाहिश दुनिया कौन करे? क्या था मुस्ता? There's a share in here. So if you consider dunya everything, then you will not get time. Anyhow, so here our Rasul sallallahu saying, if you do intizar for salah in the state of wudu, you will get the reward of salah as long as your wudu does not break. And once your wudu breaks, go and make wudu quickly, come back and sit and wait for salah. Ali karamullah wajhu had a problem, and that was that he would have taqatul. Taqatul means that he would have a few drops of urine, time and again that will drop. So he was concerned because it was not possible for him to take shower all the time or to change his clothes all the time. So since he was the son-in-law of Rasulullah sallallahu, so and Rasulullah was like kind of father to him because he grew with Rasulullah sallallahu, and like Rasulullah sallallahu always looked at Ali as his son. So he was kind of shy to ask such a personal question to Rasulullah sallallahu. So he sent a Sahabi Miqdad, and he asked, Miqdad. So Miqdad asked him, that, "O Prophet Allah, there's a person who has this problem, right? And in fifth term, it's called taqatur. Taqatur is qatra, drops. That the person has a problem. I mean, how should he do? So Rasulullah said that he should just make wudu. It's not possible, but he's ma'zur. He's exempt. So he should just make wudu. He doesn't even have to change his clothes, his trousers or pajama shirt or whatever he's wearing. Because it's not possible. Something that makes it very, very difficult for a person, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calls him ma'zur. So now, though all the shara'i, all the conditions of wudu and the ghusl are waived for you. So one of my teachers had it in India, and he would never lead salah. So one day I asked him, and he's a senior teacher, that why he never leads salah. So one of my teacher told me that such a person should not lead salah, by the way. Just like if a person cannot stand up, he prays salah sitting on a chair or on the ground, whatever, he should not lead salah. Right? Same way, a person who has the problem of taqatur, he should not be leading salah. So my teacher also doesn't. Okay, and then we had some other hadiths regarding ghusl and wudu which were mansukh. Then the last hadith that which we covered, and this is a very beautiful hadith that sums up the iman of Sahaba, which was that once our Rasulullah sallallahu once our Rasulullah asked the Sahabi or called a Sahabi, and the Sahabi was in a personal condition and with which the ghusl was wajib upon him. But when somebody knocked the door and told him that come, Rasulullah is calling you, right? So he quickly took shower, changed clothes and came running to Rasulullah. So when he came, his hair was dropping water. So Rasulullah noticed this, and and then Rasulullah asked him that perhaps I made you come quickly. He said, "Yes, O Prophet Allah, I had to come quickly." So Rasulullah said that if something comes up, and you to at least make wudu. Meaning next time if something urgent comes up, and you cannot make ghusl, then at least make wudu. Now what Rasulullah is telling is valid even now. I'll give you a scenario. Let's say ghusl is wajib upon you, right? Now there is no water. People from India, Pakistan, Bangladesh can relate to this. There's no water. Sometimes there's no running water for the whole day. And then the person, he has to make ghusl. Without that, he cannot pray salah. And there's no water. So in that case, he'll make wudu. He has little water, so he can just make wudu. Okay? Because that person will be ma'azura. Will be called ma'azura. Except. Okay? But this hadith Sharif teaches us how much Sahaba understood the importance of responding to the call of Rasulullah. Right? Rasulullah called him and he came running. This is why brother and sister just said that Rasulullah is still calling you. Still. It is said that every day you hear the call of Rasulullah. But some of you respond, most of you do not respond. And that is whenever the Muazzin says Hayya ala Salah, Hayya ala Falah, that is the call from Rasulullah. Hayya means run towards Salah, run towards success. So many of you do not respond to the call, some of you do. And remember in Surah Anfal, ayah number I think 20, if you can please remember this ayah, beautiful ayah in which Allah has told us how important it is to, 24. Surah Anfal, ayah number 24. Allah said, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, O those people who believe, istajibu lillah wa lirrasul. Respond to the call of Allah and His Rasul. Idha da'akum lima yuhyikum. Subhanallah, brothers, look at this. Idha da'akum, when Allah and Rasul call you. And then the last part is lima yuhyikum. and by responding to the call of Allah and Rasul, right, there would be life. Meaning you will be alive only when you will respond to the call of Allah and Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam. This part of our fuqaha said is so important. Lima yuhyikum. People who don't respond to the call of Allah and Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, in the eyes of Allah, they are dead people. Imagine, like in one hadith, Rasulullah said, a person who does zikr of Allah and a person who does not do zikr of Allah is like a dead person and an alive person. A dead person cannot do zikr. Cannot do zikr. But a person who is doing zikr, it's a sign that he is alive. So this part, lima yuhyikum, that when you are responding to the call of Allah and Rasul, you are alive. So when the muazzin says hayya ala salah, hayya al falah, and a person is not coming, so this means that person is dead in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, brother, when a person will die, do you know that person will not be able to say anything? And that is, even he will not be able to say subhanallah. Such a small sentence, subhanallah, Allahu Akbar, alhamdulillah, he will not be able to say it. Right? So the thing is that, why? Because that person is dead. So now a person who is breathing, who is alive, is also not doing zikr of Allah. Right? So what's the difference between this person and a person who is dead? Right? Yeah. So this ayah number 24. Remember that lima yuhyikum. Right? And last week I mentioned to you this hadith again, but let me mention this so that you can be reminded that once a Sahabi was praying Salah and Rasulullah called him. The Sahabi was confused, should I continue my Salah or should I discontinue? So he thought that no, I should continue. So when he continued his Salah and Rasulullah was calling him, he finished his Salah, then came to Rasulullah Sallallahu. So Rasulullah asked him that, I was calling you, why were you not coming? He said, oh Prophet Allah, I was engaged in Salah. At that time Allah sent Jibreel with this ayah.
It wasn't for namaz.
Nothing. This was Nafil Salah. Yeah, this was Nafil Salah, not for Salah. At that time Allah sent Jibreel with this ayah. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu stajibu lillah wa lirrasul idha da'akum lima yuhyikum. I said, okay, this is one part of the ayah. The second part of this ayah is wa'alamu anna Allah yahulu bainal mar'i wa qalbi. Think about it. Allah said, wa'alamu, understand. Anna Allah, no doubt Allah would come between you and your heart. What does that mean? That the call is being made continuously, and continuously you are ignoring to respond to the call of Allah and Rasul. So a time will come when Allah will come between you and your heart. Now you will try to respond, but you will not. Allah will take that ability, that tawfiq away from you. Have you seen such people, brother, in your life? I'll tell you this. That the person here, he told me this story. He lived in Saudi Arabia for years. He was telling me many years ago, like 10, 12 years, he said, Habib Sahab, I was living in Makkah. He said that one day after Asr Salah, the Imam announced that, as-salatu al-amwat, that there will be Salat Janaba. So now the entire Haram was waiting for the Imam to start the Salat Janaba. But he said that 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes, 6, 7, it was not starting. So people started asking, why is the Imam not starting the Salah? So then what happened was that they realized that something is wrong. So then they said that I saw that people one after another, they were going out of Haram. He said, I also went out of Haram. There was a huge crowd. And they saw that there this janaza on the stretcher, and it was right outside the Haram, the gate of Haram. They have a special door through which the janaza are brought. And there are people who are trying to lift it. they cannot lift it. So Imam of Haram came, he said, people move. Let me try from one hand. He tried from one hand. It was not moving. Nobody could lift it. So then he said that the ulama there, they said that something is wrong. They went to his house. They asked his wife, what was wrong with your husband? And you know what she said? She said, my husband lived in Makkah, but he never went inside Haram. Never went inside. He never prayed. Never, no. So the ulama say, okay, for this reason Allah doesn't want his body to come inside Haram. So the Imam Sahib said that let's pray Salah here. So he said to the people, okay, make stuff here, outside Haram. So they prayed Salah, and then the Imam Sahib said, okay, go and take it and bury the body in the Jannatul Mu'alla. And this brother said, however, this is something that I really saw with my own eyes. I didn't hear this, I saw it with my own eyes. So this is what Allah said, وَعَلَمُ أَنَّ اللَّهَ يَحُولُ بَيْنَ الْمَرْءِ وَقَلْبِهِ. That Allah is giving you chances, but one day Allah will decide that's it, the door is closed for you. Now you will not even think about that. One of my cousins, brother, he lived in Jeddah. His name was Shaykh Ansari. In 1998, right? He was a businessman, so he went with his friend to Makkah for some business purpose. When they were done with their business, he said to his friend, it's time for Asr, let's go to Haram. So they went to Asr. They prayed Asr in the Haram of Makkah. The Imam again announced that As-salatu ala al-amwat, rahimahullah. So they stood up and they prayed Salat Janazah. Now my cousin Shahid Bhai told his friend, he said that, you know what, I'm thinking how fortunate are these people who die here, and their Salat Janazah is prayed inside Haram. Where there's thousands of people who are in Ihram, making Umrah, Tawaf, you know. So, and the Imam of Haram is leading the Salat Janazah. You see? So, how fortunate are these people? Okay. So, they went back to Jeddah. That night, my cousin Shahid Bhai, he suffered a heart attack, and by Fajr time, he passed away. Now, guess what happened? Next day, within 24 hours, it was Shahid Bhai's body in Haram of Makkah. Within 24 hours of him saying, how fortunate are these people who die, and their Salat Janazah is prayed here, within 24 hours, his body was there. Now this is, I think he was so fortunate, Allah accepted his sentence. He died young, maybe soon, but very soon. But everybody has to die, But this is a good death. Allah accepted his wish, kind of. So this is what it is. So sometimes Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala comes between you and your heart if you continuously disobey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, the next hadith, brother, is here. Narrated by Usama ibn Zayd. Now, who was Usama ibn Zayd? Who was Usama ibn Zayd? Because Usama ibn Zayd is Sahabi whose name is mentioned in the Quran. Do you know that? I think no other Sahabi's name is mentioned in the Quran. No other Sahabi. But Zayd, not Usama. Zayd's name is mentioned in the Quran. And this is in Surah Al-Ahzab. Right? فَلَمَّا قَضَى زَيْدٌ مِّنْهَا وَطَرًا زَوَّجْنَاكَهَا لِكَيْ لَا يَكُونَ عَلَى الْمُؤْمِنِينَ حَرَجٌ فِي أَزْوَاجِ أَدْعِيَائِهِمْ إِذَا قَضَوْا مِنْهُنَّ وَطَرًا وَكَانَ أَمْرُ اللَّهِ. This is the 6th ayah of Surah Ahzab. Let me check. 6th or 7th. In Surah Ahzab, ayah number, it is ayah number 37. Actually, in the 22nd juz, it is ayah number 7. But in the Surah Ahzab's number is 37. وَإِذْ تَقُولُ لِلَّذِي أَنْعَمَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ وَأَنْعَمْتَ عَلَيْهِ أَمْسِكْ عَلَيْكَ زَوْجَكَ وَاتَّقِ اللَّهَ وَتُخْفِي فِي نَفْسِكَ مَا اللَّهُ مُبْدِيهِ وَتَخْشَى النَّاسَ وَاللَّهُ أَحَقُّ أَن تَخْشَىٰ فَلَمَّا قَضَىٰ زَيْدٌ So here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned Zayd's name. This is how great this Sahabi was. Usama is the son of Zayd. Okay? Now Usama himself was a great Sahabi. Rasulullah was passing away, and the last group of Sahaba that Rasulullah went in the path of Allah to spread Islam. Rasulullah made Usama, who was only 17 years old that time, as Amir. I told you I think last week, right? Yeah. And then in that Jamaat, in that group of Sahaba, there were senior Sahaba like Abu Bakr, Umar, Usman, Ali, and Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas, and you name it. All of them were there. But Rasulullah made Usama, 17-year-old youngster, Amir over these Sahaba, to teach Sahaba Ita'atul Amir. You have to follow Amir, that's it. Do not look who is the Amir. As long as that Amir is pious, follow. So he was Usama ibn Zayd. Now Usama ibn Zayd went with Rasulullah like so many other Sahaba when Rasulullah went for Hajjatul Wada, the last Hajj. Right? This incident happened in Hajjatul Wada. Now it says that Usama ibn Zayd narrates that when Allah Rasulullah departed from Arafat, right? He turned towards a mountain pass where he answered the call of nature. Rasulullah went to answer the nature's call. So after that, I poured water and he performed wudu. He had a bucket of water, so he poured water to Rasulullah and Rasulullah made wudu. And then I said to Rasulullah, O Prophet of Allah, will you offer the prayer? So Rasulullah said, the musalla, meaning the place of salah, is ahead of you. Ahead of you means is in Muzdalifah. What Rasulullah was teaching was that you will not pray Maghrib Salah in Arafat. On the day of Arafat, you will not pray Maghrib Salah in Arafat. You will pray that in Muzdalifah. No matter what time you reach Muzdalifah, you will pray Maghrib Salah there. You will join Maghrib and Isha together at the time of, in fact, whatever time you will reach. You know, one time in 1991 when I made Hajj, I reached Muzdalifah, half an hour before sunrise. Fajr. Because but no, it's not. Now, after that, I figured out how to go. Like last year, I went for Hajj. We just walked. Anybody? Who was there? Okay, last year what we did was that from Muzdalifah to Mina we walked. But you can walk from Arafat to Muzdalifah, no problem. Many people do that. But now the Saudi government have made big roads. Now there is no problem. Now you can reach from Arafat to Muzdalifah, I think, in half an hour. MashaAllah, this year we have one brother Tawfiq is going for Hajj. Who else is going? Rafi Bhai is going for Hajj. Samir is going for some. We have some people going for Hajj. So here Rasulullah made wudu, and when Usama ibn Zayd asked for salah, Rasulullah said, no, we will pray salah in Muzdalifah. Okay? So this hadith teaches us that after making wudu, it is mustahab to pray 2 rakat of tahiyatul wudu. Remember that. It is mustahab. It is not sunnah. Meaning it is preferred that you pray 2 rakat of salah, which is called tahiyatul wudu. So since our Rasulullah used to often pray, so Usama thought that he is going to either pray tahiyatul wudu right now or he is going to pray Maghrib. So Rasulullah said to Usama that no, we'll pray Salah when we reach Muzdalifah. So this hadith Sharif teaches us that if you can, then you should pray 2 rakat of Tahiyyatul wudu. Now the next hadith Sharif is narrated by Mughira ibn Shu'bah. Okay, Mughira ibn Shu'bah says that I was in the company of Rasulullah sallallahu on one of the journeys, and he went out to answer the nature's call. And after he finished, I poured water and he performed wudu. He washed his face, forearm, and passed his wet hand over his head and over the 2 khuf. So this hadith is teaching us khuf. It is that it is fine to do masa over leather socks. Yes, we talked about the masa. Narrated by Abdullah ibn Abbas. Achha, this hadith Sharif, it had been mentioned at least, I think, 5-6 times earlier. This hadith Sharif is talking about that incident where Abdullah ibn Abbas spent the night with Rasulullah in the house of Maimuna. Now Maimuna was his aunt, so he was mahram. So he spent that night in the house of Maimuna. So here he says that when he stayed overnight in the house of Maimuna, the wife of Prophet ﷺ, who was his aunt, he added, I lay on the bed cushion while Rasulullah ﷺ and his wife lay in the lengthwise direction of the cushion. Rasulullah ﷺ slept till the middle of the night, either a bit before or a bit later. And then he woke up, rubbing the traces of sleep of his face with his hand. He then recited the last 10 ayat of Surah Al-Imam. Which are those? Does anyone know? The last 10 ayat of Surah Al-Imran. Inna fi khalq as-samawat. Very important that we memorize these 10 lines. Inshallah, sometime I'll tell you the fazail of these 10 ayat. The last 10 ayat of Surah Al-Imran. So when you wake up in the morning, you say Alhamdulillah alladhi ahyana ba'da ma amatana wa ilayhi nushur, the masnoon dua, and after that you should read these 10 ayat of Surah Al-Imran. Got up and went to a hanging water skin. Now brothers, at that time, since there was no running water, so in fact, I have seen this in my childhood as well. People used to have water in a leather skin bag. You see that? And when I was a kid, our cities used to be so clean. In the morning, the evening, the lane and the road would be washed. And the guy will come holding that leather skin bag, and he will, yes.
Which city is that?
Lucknow. Yeah, I remember in the morning and the evening, they used to wash the road like that.
And he's called Beheshti.
Huh?
He's called Beheshti.
Beheshti, we used to call them Beheshti. So Rasulullah ﷺ will have water in that skin bag, and it will be hanging. Right? Rasulullah will hang. So he then performed wudu from it, and it was a perfect wudu. Of course, Rasulullah, and then stood to offer the salah. I too got up and did as Rasulullah had done. Then I went and stood by Rasulullah's side. He placed his right hand on my head and caught my right ear and twisted it. Now this was out of love and affection. He prayed 2 rakat, and then 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 2 rakat, separately meaning. And then finally 1 rakat of witr. Then he lay down again in the bed till the muazzin came to him, whereupon the Rasulullah got up, offered 2 light rakats prayer, and went out and led the Fajr prayer. There are a few things that we need to understand. The 2 rakats, the 2 sunnah before Fajr should not be long. Because Fajr should be long. The first salah of Fajr should be long. The sunnah should be khafif, should be light. Okay? because the maqsad of Fajr is 2 rakat of Fard Fajr Salah. So the masnoon way of praying 2 rakat of Sunnah of Fajr is, in the first rakat with Surah Fatiha you should read Qul Ya Ayyuhal Kafirun, and the second rakat with Surah Fatiha you should read Qul Huwallahu Ahad. So do not make the 2 rakat of Sunnah of Fajr long. That was not the uswa of Rasulullah. Yes, the Fard of Fajr should be long. So that is one thing. And here when Rasulullah twisted the ear of Abdullah ibn Abbas radiallahu ta'ala anhu, it was out of love. Because brother, imagine a 6-year-old boy getting up and praying the Tahajjud with you. So Rasulullah out of affection put his hand on his forehead. That was out of affection. And then Rasulullah twisted his ear, and that was out of love. So Abdullah ibn Abbas always remember that. The Rasulullah put his hand over my. So here Rasulullah made wudu. Now a question, now this is a fiqh question, I do not know whether you'll be interested or not, but quickly I'll mention. Is that why did Rasulullah make wudu? Because the special thing with Rasulullah was, mu'azzah of Rasulullah was, that Rasulullah said, when I sleep, right, my eyes sleep, but my heart does not. Okay? So that's why the sleep of Rasulullah is not nawaqid al-wudu. The sleep of Rasulullah would not break his wudu. So when Rasulullah, because here there is no mention of Rasulullah going to answer the nature's call, right? But there are two answers to this. One is that okay, Rasulullah wanted to do the tajdeed of wudu. Meaning Rasulullah had wudu, right? He got up and but Rasulullah wanted to make fresh wudu, because Rasulullah have encouraged us to make fresh wudu. You have wudu, but still you make wudu. And second thing is that Rasulullah in another hadith sharif, there is mentioned that Rasulullah went to answer the nature's call after he got up. Maybe it's the same incident or a different one. We do not know. Remember when Rasulullah went to answer the nature's call at the time of Tahajjud, and Abdullah ibn Abbas got up and he felt that Rasulullah will come back and he will need to make wudu, so he put a bucket of water and he came, Rasulullah came, and Rasulullah said, who put this here? So Abdullah ibn Abbas said, oh Prophet, I. So then Rasulullah made that famous dua, Allahumma alimut tanzeel. Yeah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala teach him the meaning of Quran. So it could be the same incident or a different one. We do not. Maybe the same one. Maybe Abdullah ibn Abbas did not mention that here. But this hadith sharif teaches us that if you have wudu, it is good to make wudu again. Okay? And then the many masail that our fuqaha derive from this. One of the famous masala from this is about Tarawih Salah and Tahajjud. Those people who believe that Tarawih Salah is only 8 rakat, they take this hadith as a proof, which I don't think there's any proof of 8 rakat from this 8 rakat of Tarawih from this hadith, because this is talking about Tahajjud. This incident did not happen in Ramadan. This is because it's Tahajjud, but some people take it as a proof that Rasulullah prayed 8 rakat of. So there's always debate on that.
It says that only 1 rakat of it.
Yeah. What do you say? Actually, why aside with could be 2+1. Yeah, could be prayed 3 or could be prayed 1. Dono problem. Both of them are right. There are many some hadith will come in which Rasulullah prayed 3. So Imam Abu Hanifa took that rawayah. Other Imams took this rawayah. So both of them. Okay. The second hadith sharif is the last 10 ayat of Surah Al-Imran. Brothers, try to memorize those 10 ayat by next Sunday. I'm not going to ask you like I do it nowadays. But if you can memorize it, it's a very beautiful ayat. Inna fi khalqis samawati, and 3 out of 10 ayat are dua. Dua. Alladhi Rabbana ma khalaqta hadha batila subhanaka faqina adhaban, right? Rabbana innana sami'na munadiyan yunadi lil imani an aminu bi rabbikum fa amanu Rabbana faghfir lana dhunubana wa kaffir 'anna sayyi'atina wa tawaffana ma'al abrar Rabbana wa atina ma wa'adtana 'ala rusulika wa la tukhzina yawm al-qiyamah innaka la tukhzil al-mi'ad. So out of 10, 3 are du'as which you can use in your du'as that you make after salah. Okay? So these are 10 ayahs that Rasulullah sallallahu used to read at the time of Qiyam. Now the next hadith is by Asma bin Abi Bakr. Now who was Asma? Asma was the daughter of Abu Bakr Siddiq radiyallahu ta'ala. Now she is known as, she has a nickname. Zatul. She used to carry 2 lunch boxes. When Rasulullah sallallahu made hijrat and Rasulullah and Abu Bakr were in that cave, so in the middle of the night when everybody in Makkah would be asleep, she will prepare 2 lunch boxes, and one for Rasulullah, one for Abu Bakr, and in the middle of the night she was playing with her life, but she would take that food to that cave. So Rasulullah sallallahu called her Zatun Nitaqain. A woman who has 2 lunch bags or lunch boxes. So Zatun Nitaqain. Anyhow, so this brother, this hadith is talking about Salatul Kusuf, and that is when we have sun eclipse, right? So at that time there is a certain salah where the Imam leads people in salah. It's a long one, by the way, brother. It might take 2 hours, 3 hours. Till the sun eclipses there, the Imam would be engaged in salah. So once this happened, and Asma had no clue that there is salah like this, right? So she came to meet her sister Aisha. So she came to meet her sister, and then we have solar eclipse, and Rasulullah ﷺ was leading people in salah, and she was also praying, meaning Aisha was also praying. So she said, I asked her, what is wrong with the people? Everybody is praying salah, there is no time for salah. Like at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the morning. She beckoned with her head towards the sky. Since she cannot speak, so she did like this towards the sky. Then look at the sun, and said, Subhanallah. I asked her, is there a sign? She pointed out, yes. I mean, she did not say it, but she said yes. Sign on it. So I too stood for the salah till I felt unconscious, and I felt, if she felt that I'm going to faint. It was such a long salah, and it was very hot. And I poured water on my head. After the prayer, Rasulullah praised and glorified Allah and said, just now I have seen something which I have never seen before at this place of mine. Okay, including paradise and hell. I have been inspired and have understood that you will be put onto trial in your grave. Now brothers, let me quickly explain here. Here, meaning all the fitnas that were going to take place in the day of judgment, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala informed Rasulullah about that. A wahi came, and Rasulullah said that, I have been informed about it. And this is why Rasulullah mentions some of them, of those fitnas to a sahabi. And the name of the sahabi was, rise up? Who is called the secret bearer of Rasulullah? Huzaifa and Jama. Rasulullah told him some of them. And then Rasulullah said that you will be put to trial in your grave. And these trials will be like the trial of a Dajjal, or nearly like it. Meaning the narrator is not sure what Asma said. Angels will come to each one of you and ask, what do you know about this man? A believer will reply, he is Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And now Rasulullah is talking about Munkar and Nakir, who will come in your grave. So Rasulullah was saying that fitna, meaning that here fitna means the trial, the test, would be as hard as the trial of Dajjal. Meaning, brother, those people who will be alive at that time on earth, that fitna would be Dajjali fitna. You know, they have to face Dajjal. But those who die and they go in their grave, they would be asked these questions from Munkar and Nakir. And that, brother, that would be the turning point for you in your life in Barzakh. Okay? So if they'll be asked you about Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So he would say, Abu Bakr will say, he is Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Allah Rasul, and he came to us with self-evidence, truth and guidance. So we accepted his teaching, believed in him and followed him. Then the angel will say to him, sleep in peace as they have come to you now. So, you know, you will sleep. And remember, you will sleep till when? Till the day of Hashr. That will be a sleep. And when you will get up and Hashr, Allah in Surah Yasin said, you will feel as if you have slept a few minutes ago. So, Surah Yasin, Allah said, وَنُفِقَ فِي الصُّورِ فَإِذَا هُمْ مِنَ الْأَجْدَاثِ إِلَىٰ رَبِّهِمْ يَنْسِلُونَ. That when the sur would be blown, and not today is that day, the day of Hajj, that big day, Yawm al-Taqabun. So, when sur would be blown, Allah said, the graves will open, right? Ajdathi ila rabbihim yansilun. Now everybody will be coming out of their grave. The moment the believers, they say, Qalu ya waylana man ba'athana min marqadina. They say, oh, you know, we were having such a nice sleep. Why did you wake us up? So the angel will say, bhai, you know, you have been sleeping for, let's say, 10 million years, 100 million years. But this person will say, no, I just slept just now, a minute or two ago. That is what Rasulullah is saying, that the angel will say to him, sleep. Sleep in peace. Okay, on the other hand, a hypocrite, a person who was Muslim just by name, he never believed in it, yeah, a completely different thing will happen. He will say, I do not know, but heard the people saying something, so I said the same. Okay, so now for that person, there will be no sleep. So, this hadith Sharif teaches us that in Salah, so the reason why Imam, the reason why Imam Bukhari narrated this hadith is that when she felt like fainting, right? So her wudu did not break because she did not faint yet. She felt like fainting. So she poured water on her face. There must be some bucket around her, so she took water and she poured that water over her face. Had she fainted, then wudu would break, because fainting breaks wudu. But she did not faint, that's why she did not make a fresh wudu. So that's the reason why Imam Bukhari rahimahullah had mentioned this hadith. Okay? So I'll stop here and I'll move on to the Bible. And believe me, brother, you will be out by 9:30. Some of you are anxious today to leave early. So, I mean, I'm not that anxious, but I know the result. So, inshallah, the buyer of Masjid. After Maghrib, there was no class. After, will there be class? Because then why not? Okay, so we covered this, right? Yeah. So, brother and sister, we were talking about Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu. Now he's Khalifa now. He's addressing people for the first time as a Khalifa now. Okay? So remember, everybody did wear on his hand, including Ali karamallahu wajhu. So everybody had chosen him to be the Khalifa. Now he is the first Khalifa of Muslims. Okay? The Khilafat of Abu Bakr lasted for 2 years and 3 months. Okay? If you want, and the Khilaf, if you want to write it down. See, brothers, our Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam once prophesied that after me, Khilafat will last for 30 years. 30. 30 years. And now that was a prophecy by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the strange thing, brother, is that it came true by different days. Because the day Ali Kallamallahu, the fourth Khalifa, got Shahadat fi Sabilillah, and the Khilafat eventually ended. That was exactly 30 years since Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam left this world. Because Abu Bakr was Khalifa for 2 years, 3 months. Umar was Khalifa for around 10 years, 10 years. Usman radiallahu anhu was Khalifa for 12 years. Right? And Ali karamallahu was Khalifa for around 6 years. 6 years, right? Yeah, around that. Whatever the time, that was exactly the time that Ali karamallahu was Khalifa. But the first address that Abu Bakr gave as a Khalifa was this. He said that, "O people, I have been elected your leader, although I am not better than anyone from among you. If I do any good, give me your support. If I go wrong, set me right. Listen, truth is honesty, and untruth is dishonesty. The weak among you are powerful in my eyes, as long as I do not get them that you. Allah willing, the powerful among you are weak in my eyes, as long as I do not take away from them what is due. Together, Allah willing. Listen, if people give up striving for the cause of Allah, Allah sends down disgrace on them. If a people become evildoers, Allah sends down calamity on them. Listen, you must obey me as long as I obey Allah and His Rasul. If I disobey Allah and His Rasul, you are free to disobey me." Okay? So that was a short but a very important address by Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu to the people. Brother, you know the first sentence right down the top. Brother, this is so true these days, because once we stop striving in the path of Allah, Allah sends down disgrace, zillah. And brother, you know what? You know when our real zillah started? When we stopped spreading Islam. Brother, in this country where Allah has sent you, US, you know there are over 300 million people living, right? And among them, like 10, 11 million are Muslims. But it is the job of Muslims to take the message of Islam to the rest of the population. This is called striving in the path of Allah. If we will not do this, then what you see on media, right? It is because of our fault. We have not yet gone out and make da'wah of Islam to them. So they are in ignorance. And once we will not strive in the path of Allah, we will be disgraced. And this is exactly what we are facing. Okay? You know, this film was made, you see, and you know, it was such a good opportunity for us to educate people about Islam. But look how we messed up. You know, we started claiming that these guys are enemies of Islam. No one is enemy, brother. It's ignorance. Ignorance about Islam. Abu Bakr said to Sahaba at that time, go and spread Islam. Otherwise you will feel you will get disgraced. So see, during the time of Khilafat of Abu Bakr, Sahaba did not live in Medina. They just spread the whole world. You know, I was talking about Abu Ayyub Ansari, the oldest, one of the oldest Sahabi. He went with his son and grandson. Son and grandson in Medina. He was native of Medina. Rasulullah stayed in his house. He was a native of Medina. For generations, they lived in Medina. But once Rasulullah left, and Abu Ayyub Ansari said, I'm going to spread Islam for the rest of my life. He never came back. Bilal left. He never came back except for once. And then he again left. Those Sahabi who were from Makkah and Medina, they never stayed there. You know, they just went, and there was certain Sahaba, my dear son, who changed the entire country. Now, anybody from Egypt? Yes? So you are from Egypt? No, you are from Yemen. One Sahabi, Saad, brought Islam to Egypt and the entire country changed. Khalid ibn Walid, right? One person brought Islam to Iran, to Iraq. Brother, so they changed countries. So if Allah sent you and me here in US, and there are people who are dying on kufr and shirk. People are making sin against Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And don't blame them, brother. We have to blame our own self. We are not spreading Islam. We are living for our own selves. You see, everybody is living, making money for our own self. Nobody has time for Allah to spread deen. So if we don't spread deen, brother, disgrace will come to us. So when he said that, Sahaba understood and they left Medina and they spread all over the world. So, okay, now
I think it's the right thing to address our concerns in the UN General Assembly. Like many of the head of the states, they have raised their concerns, stating the fact that these kind of defaming the prophets are not right.
Yeah.
So they can raise through proper channels.
Yeah, very good. You should raise your concern through proper channels. You should not take the insult of Rasulullah hands down. You should raise your voice, but the right way. Okay? There's somebody emailed me a very beautiful video of Nauman Ali Khan. It's a 4-minute video, but may Allah bless him. He made some really nice points. If I have time, I'll forward it to his class. What should be the proper response of Muslims when anybody defames Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? You see, so violence is not Islamic thing. Just raising your concern and making sure that that person comes to know who Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was. So once you spread deen, and say majority of the people will know who Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was. Otherwise, they'll be in ignorance. Anyhow, by the way, here I will forget. If I need 5 sisters for a new Muslim class, I just completely forgot. I just remembered. We have Imam Sahih's class, and from 1 o'clock to 1:35, there'll be some new Muslims, new female Muslims who will come to learn Salah. So I have 1 sister confirmed, but I need 4 more. Today, I'm sorry, I just remember. From 1 o'clock to 1:35. And they need 2 brothers as well, but I have the brothers. But I need 5 sisters. If somebody can volunteer, let me know. Will come. Fine. I have 1 sister confirmed. I need 4 more. Will come. 1, 2. Okay, so now here's the reason why Ali Karamallahu Wajhu delayed in doing bay'at. Okay, he delayed not because he wanted to be Khalifa himself. Okay, so here says that for 6 months Ali and some of his relatives did not pledge loyalty to Abu Bakr. That was because of a difference of opinion with the Khalifa. The Holy Prophet ﷺ had some land at Medina and Khaybar. His daughter Fatima and his uncle Abbas laid claim to this land. But Abu Bakr set aside the claim to the light of what the Prophet ﷺ himself had said. We prophets cannot be inherited. Brother, this is something that has nothing to do with Khilafah. It's not that Ali Karamullah what you wanted to be the Khalifa. It has to do something with the land. So, but Shia people had given a twist to it, and they claim that no, he was never ready to claim Abu Bakr as Khalifa. This is completely wrong. Okay, and so you can read about this. But then Ali Karamullah Wajhu came and he did bay'at on the hand of Abu Bakr Siddiq. There are many books, but the problem is that you have to see which book is right. I would, for Urdu speaking people, I would recommend this book which is very authentic. It's called Tariq Islam by Maulana Kiranvi. Maulana Rahmatullah Kiranvi. So it's a very good book. I think Urdu speaking people should read it. So Ali Karamallahu Wajhu later on when he accepted, he said, "Oh Siddiq, we accept your superiority. We do not envy the position Allah has given to us. But as relative of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, we thought Khilafat to be our right. You have taken." These words brought tears in Abu Bakr's eyes, and he said, "By Allah, the relative of Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam are dearer to me than my own relative." The assurance satisfied Ali. He went to the mosque and publicly took pledge of life. So eventually Ali Karamallahu Wajhu did bayat on the hand of Abu Bakr Siddiq radhiyallahu anhu. After that, brother, remember remember that I have 2-3 minutes. You know that those 3 challenges that Abu Bakr Siddiq radhiyallahu ta'ala had. One was what? One was the zakat, the people who had refused to give zakat. Second was
False part of the Islam, not part of the Islam.
The second was part of the Islam. The part was this people who refused to give zakat. They said we will not give zakat, we pay salah. So that was one. Second was people who became murtad. And third was murtad means they left Islam. And third was that there were people from Syria, Christians, who were willing to come and attack Muslims. And remember, there was fourth one as well. Remember, that's the people who claim to be prophets. You know, so he had to deal with them. So he decided to go and take care of people who are leaving Islam. You see? So and now one thing that I will mention here, and then brother you can go and think about it, because it's something that should serve a lesson for us. When Umar also gave opinion to Abu Bakr that, oh, I mean, you should first go and tackle the problem of Christians attacking us from Syria. So Abu Bakr Siddiq flatly refused. He said, no, they are not our main problem. The problem is those people who are leaving Islam. Okay? And then he said a sentence which, brothers and sisters, if you can remember that, it could give us some ghair of deen, you know. And he said, "Ayanqusu deen wa ana hayy." Right? He said, Umar, how can it be possible that people are leaving deen and I'm alive? You know, Ayanqusu deen, people are leaving deen wa ana hayy, and I'm alive. This cannot happen. So, brother, this is something that our ulama have for centuries have been writing this one sentence, "Ayanqusu deen wa ana hayy," and they have been teaching us that you should have the same sentiments. That as long as I'm alive, I'll make sure that leaves deen. My children do not leave deen. My friend, whoever I know, does not leave deen. Brothers and sisters, right now, one of the biggest fitna of our time and the time that I'm going to come, brother Wallahi, is people leaving deen. The sister here in our community, she was a Muslimah for 30 years. She used to do hijab and she used to work at a big company and she was a big person there. 30 years she was Muslimah. She used to go to work in hijab. 30 years. She left Islam a few weeks ago. We are trying to find out. Imam Sahih Bukhari, because we are trying to find out what happened. We are trying to approach. There are brothers who are leaving. Because there's so much Islamophobic things out there, people get influenced. So, brother, Ayanqusu deen wa ana hayy, what are we doing to stop this trend? Abu Bakr Siddiq said this to Umar. Okay? So, brother, we need to reflect upon it. And it should start with our home. We should make sure that our children don't leave Islam. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help me to understand this. Subhanallah. So I will write this, if you can write it and think about it. The ayat khususi. ayat khusus di wa ana hayy. How can people leave deen life? How can I allow people to leave deen? How can you can say how can I allow what you like? This is what I understand. I am Muslim and how can I allow deen to become weak or people leaving Islam and I'm alive?
I have to get back to you on the website. Look at it. But those two that you sent. Give me some
It actually works. If you take this home and you attach it to a TV, this is loud.
رب زدني علما ألف لام